HellRaisers and Misfits duking it out on Overpass, and it is the CIS region that comes out on top this time around. Of course, map number 2, Inferno, is set to begin, so do stay tuned. We're about to go live with that one in a very short moment. So this is Launders, I am Scrawny, and we're about to continue the series. How are you feeling with the opportunities and likelihood of Misfits finding a win?
Man, chances are slim. I feel like I came out the gate with a 2-1 prediction, but at this point, I'm not wavering.
Look, a backpedal here.
I'm not gonna waver, but only because it would make me look worse.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Inside, I'm wavering. Outside, I'm not. But yeah, it was a bit of a one-sided affair, maybe similar to the McGregor-Mayweather fights.
That's a big conversation piece.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
That's like.
But was it a matter of one team playing the other's game? I'm not sure. I feel like they actually played quite similarly. I
was gonna say, like, I feel like there's definitely points of Misfits' approach to that Overpass game that you can't help but praise. I think that they tried to change things up, both in timing and direction, both between A and the B bomb site, but it was just that they were never able to really get into a prime position with a numbers advantage. Like, even if they're able to finally get map control, they're just sitting outside of bathrooms. Well, we already had HellRaisers on the rotate up. We already had them with a 4 versus 3 and that very strong crossfires. So unfortunately for Misfits, I feel like the odds and those rounds were just stacked against them, despite them trying their damnedest on their map pick.
Definitely. And you know, the first half, it's like, talk about the strategy all you want, but ultimately with your best player having only 5 kills means that's just a huge reason why you aren't getting them.
At the end of the day, Counter-Strike is about getting headshots.
It's a point-and-click adventure.
Yep. That's what an adventure it is.
Indeed.
So knife round underway. Misfits going to pick that up. The choice of sides to their selection, their preference, their pick. How do you feel about, I mean, we just kind of like very shortly mentioned, you know, like how there was a lot of maps in the rotation that could have been much more one-sided. They were considered very lopsided once upon a time, right? Cobblestone, Overpass, Inferno, Nuke. I mean, we also had a small conversation about the changes to Inferno yesterday. So do you think that there is that obvious middle ground nowadays with this one? Do you think that's going to play a factor to these teams?
Yeah, I think no matter what your half, you might feel down but never out, just because T-side is just a lot more friendly now, where you have this like nice wide banana. You have like the ability to trade a lot more easily, whereas old Inferno was like corridors were so thin. Yeah. Halls was such a nightmare. It's like there was almost no way for you to avenge your teammates, especially when it's like someone's holding like a super tight angle at the end of long hall or up on banana. There's still some opportunities and ways for CTs to come away with those frags, but it's not quite as easy anymore. And so I think no matter what the half looks like, there will be an opportunity for the other team to come back. That being said, HellRaisers is super on point right now. Super on point.
And that was another thing. I feel like everybody just stepped up in that last game.
Yeah.
Once again, the younger players on their crew finding their place. But I mean, we saw Bondic with a lot of individual plays as well. I think Dead Fox's op was one thing that had kind of been not lackluster in the sense that he wasn't playing well earlier throughout the tournament, but just that he was never in a position to be that, you know, one key to success, to be that cornerstone for HellRaisers. And obviously on Overpass he was. We got to see him very early on, just consecutively pushing over towards fountains, going for those aggressive peaks, all the way into Playground from time and time again. And then I think that once we get around that 6-0, 7-0 score, HellRaisers decide, like, all right, something's going to change with Misfits. Let's just throw this off anywhere. We see him peeking over on Monster. We see him trying to get aggressive inside Connector. And while it does cost him his life 1 or 2 times, at least it kept Misfits guessing. Yeah. And I feel like that was another issue for Misfits. While they had, you know, a strategy going into these moments, they were just never able to employ it without being just kind of pushed back.
Yeah.
And whether that not be in the form of frags, map control. HellRaisers were very aggressive on their CT side.
Yeah. Now, I think one thing about Inferno in contrast to Overpass is that it's much easier to set up for an execute whenever you want. I think Cobble is the prime example of this, where, you know, CTs just do not want to push past a certain point. On Overpass, it's anybody's game, but on Inferno, you know, when you get top mid control, you have the opportunity to throw smokes from alt, run up lane, and then rely on your entries. And no one's going to really get in your face beyond that point. You're always going to clear out halls before you hit A. You're always going to clear out top mid, and CTs will have a fine time, are perfectly comfortable going back to like a double pit setup, one at arch with an op, and allowing you to execute, which is good and bad. A lot of advantages for CTs in that situation, but for Misfits, who are very, very execute heavy, I think will be happier and more comfortable in their safe space.
Yeah.
On Inferno.
Safety is very comforting. Earlier today, we did, of course, see Godsent versus NRG on this very map, and Godsent had a super aggressive CT side, so it'll be interesting to see if Misfits can replicate that, or if they do indeed rely on safety. It's Devaduvic getting aggressive towards the apps, just taking a bit of a peek-see as he finds Sick taking one to the head. That's 15 health already, attempting the duel on the top of Banana.
Bondic jumping up in the halls. And again, juggling rotates on this map, extremely beneficial. Quite easy to do, very easy to convince CTs to play 1B. But at the same time, on pistol rounds, quite often, CTs will play 3B. So as a terrorist, you don't want to just assume that you can run into the site right away. Oh, Sean getting very up close at mid here. Fall back through this arch smoke. Gonna alert his teammates of this presence. And it looks like he's actually assuming that it's going to be some kind of split or fake, which he might be right about.
Weird little moment, but that's 2 quick kills for Misfits. So despite the health disadvantage, they are all across the kill feed. Bondic, Dead Fox, all that remains at this point. And Bondic just frantically attempting the kill, but there's nothing to be found. HellRaisers primed by the looks of it, but then just completely shut out.
Yeah, fully fluffed. They had all the control they wanted to. I think they were just ready to move into the site, but Shazam shut down the lurk, or the aggressive entry, or aggressive lurk, I guess, at B, that was supposed to lead the bomb into the site. That really put a wrench in their plans, I think. And then Sean cleaning up with those couple of nice headshots at the beginning as well. Means that it looked like that pistol round that HellRaisers pulled off in the second half on Overpass on their CT side.
Ooh, that connects ever slightly. Devaduvic peppering Zero through the door. Again, wall bangs in the apps, man.
Yeah, it's always nice to hit someone, even for a little bit of damage, because there's a bit of psychological warfare that goes on there. It really decentivizes you from running through or pushing slowly even. And here's Amanek from the pit, very important position, gets his 2 kills, has done his job, but won't check out quite yet.
Now he does. There's Stiko with a double. Still the man advantage in the hands of Misfits. The bomb as well to the feet of Shaz, but it's Angel with a deeg through the skull of Sick. And now Shazam feels the heat. He's pinched. Stiko. Oh, that's big. 3 frags already, and it's only Sean left for the retake. Sure enough, he's got the kit.
Ooh. Little does he know the bomb was dropped in the middle of the lane. It would have still been difficult, would have to have dealt with a player looking to trade. And with this bomb going down safe, and they spotted Sean. His long flank is not going to be that great anymore.
No, if you can find a bit of real estate, if you can just jump out very quickly, then maybe he sections off the duels. He does get this space, but he doesn't get the kill. Instead, he is killed thanks to Stiko. So that's a big 4K from Stiko, starting with that Tech 9, and arguably Angel's deagle was another critical moment. Yeah,
definitely a critical moment. Shutting down the rotator, allowing them to know that the last person's going to be coming from B. They should know that about Sean, and wow, just converting that second round. Didn't think that was going to happen. It was a 3v5. Obviously, it all comes down to Stiko. Great stuff. In response, we're going to have a buy-up. Typical to have a buy-up in response to losing a second round because the team that you're playing against won the round very fraudulently and you feel like you deserve it, or it's because they only had 1 or 2 people alive, meaning that they're in danger of getting reset if they lose and maybe don't have enough money to fully buy up all the rifles that they would like. But it looks like, with a couple of rifles that the HellRaisers converted, they're going to have a strong advantage moving into this one, even though they only had 2 alive.
Yeah, nothing feels better than robbing those Colts away. Amanek trying to his best impression of Happy, but no targets found at that point. So HellRaisers is just going to start reeling backwards. They know that, of course, there's no further aggression from Misfits on Banana. So if they pull the trigger on this A-side execution, as long as they're quick about it and they don't have to worry about their flank, they should just overwhelm things.
Yeah. Interesting setup. We've seen a lot of CZ clips come from this angle, playing relatively close up. It's definitely going to be 2 bullet kills if he does it properly. Precious ammo. Expelled, a lot of damage taken as well in response. Smoke goes down.
There's Amanek with a deagle in the opening frag of the round. That's the advantage for Misfits. Bondic, though, going to find a bit of success as that bomb is now dropped. Deviduvic's got to be running low on ammunition, and he still sits inside the site. Amanek hoping to catch the man in the corner, will deal damage, but it's Angel with a 2K. and 2 players to remain with 15 seconds on the clock. The bomb has been dropped in a very crucial spot. Molotov to the backside, Sick up close. He gives away the bomb and the plant is attempted, the plant is found. That's Bondic with the safety of the site. Zero cowering to the side of the graveyard. This is a very committed position.
They've also got a Molotov, so even though the split is going to happen, one person's going to be stuck out in the open.
Shazam creeping in. He gets the headshot. This is so winnable. It's only Bondic, 7 health. And Shazam up close with the Deeg, finds the defuse to boot. Misfits forced by back to their favor.
Wow, very nice recovery. Decided to not use the Molotov, which would have taken out either Lane or Arch, made that job a little bit easier, but great 1D in a pit. Huge play from Shazam, and obviously the one player left in sight in red HP. But clearly not content just yet.
At what point did that really start to unfold for you? For HellRaisers?
For HellRaisers, I think they had a Molotov to use, and they had 2 lanes. They know that either Misfits are going to group up on one lane or split up. Either way, you throw your Molotov at one, you're at worst getting rid of one guy, right? So, or just knowing that you don't have to deal with another choke point, even if they do group up together. So, just kind of robbing themselves of the ability to focus on one choke point is where I think they messed up. But obviously, the fact that it came down to a 2v2 is another question.
Thankfully, of course, because they saved those initial M4s from the second round and because they get that bomb plant in the very last seconds, we still have a decent buy here from HellRaisers. Not a full belt of utility on everyone, but definitely enough to execute. Should they try to sell a pump fake or commit off this opening kill? It looks like they might just do that, but Sean Gares has something to say about it.
Zero looked to get a little aggressive, was able to bait out an incendiary, very expensive piece of utility. Always worth remembering how many mollies are left in a great flash. Wow, yeah. Zero would have been blind for much longer than that.
He was clueless at that point, just scattering shots amongst the trees. Yet again, we find HellRaisers just giving up that banana control, just taking it early on and then falling away, not even leaving an anchor to spot it. Very confident in the fact that their flank is safe. But short is not. Amanek flashed in, falls back. Devaduvic sits in pit. But you know Misfits are starting to feel boxed in, and that rotation's still yet to arrive as Bomb wraps Arch side. Amanek still in sight. Targets start to filter in. He's going to find the first. The headshots offer themselves up for the taking, and he finds it. Devaduvic chiming in. It's a hold on A. Big play from Misfits as they're able to convert that point further so.
Wow, just as you said, they were really suffocating them. They had an entire Arch wrap. They had a player ready to hit from the other side. And they even waited for the appropriate spacing to explode. They had 3 people coming to the site at the exact same time, but as we can see, Amanek working around this cover beautifully. Able to get that last headshot to put salt in the wounds. Didn't even need to get that kill. Fantastic stuff. And Misfits coming with another close one.
Now this one shouldn't be close. We've got the whole vanilla save. Not a single cent's been spent from HellRaisers. Glocks across the board. This is the kind of round where you just charge Waterfall, go filtering into a bomb site, try to trade. Because I mean, look at this. This is a 1v1 duel with a Glock. No trade. That's obviously you're in such a desperate position that you can't really do much at all. But
no, absolutely. And you do want to think about grouping together because that's, again, going to be your best chance of getting any kills whatsoever. So the couple of reasons why you might not do that is, number one, you want to talk with your team. And you want to just spend the round not worrying about who's dying where, knowing that you're not going to win or even get a plant because it's going to be super difficult to do without even flash. Maybe just sit around, talk strategy for the next round. Further, you can try to get info on their setup and what their anti-eco might be for the future. And then lastly, I guess, just hope that the lurk kills come out if they do push you and the majority of your players are together. But ultimately, dying by yourself is definitely a waste. And it's not just dying, you're also giving up that kill reward, which is something to think about.
We've got 9 AKs on the board right now, so HellRaisers funding the counter-terrorist forces. The single ump on Sick. 3-man stack towards the A site, and here comes the flash, allowing for Angel to pry into the B bomb site. We got a bit of a crossfire set with a man up high. Sean Gares by his side. Jiggle peeking, spotting barrels, then he does fall back. There's the smoke. So now HellRaisers know there are 2 players here.
Burned by that entry of Angel last round. Don't have to deal with that again. And prodding into the site without the intention of actually taking the bomb there is just a way to either catch a CT unprepared or bait out a lot of utility in response to your presence. Now, they didn't have to do that in this sense. Amnek's going to fall back, and he's kind of in a really awkward spot. Throws a really clutch Molotov, but actually peeks behind it. DeadFox fully prepared to take him out of the round for it.
Good headshot and a good opener here for HellRaisers. As Angel continues at B, it's up to Shazam to try and stop things, but DeadFox stops him with a headshot that connects and leaves the CTs alone at B. Sure enough, Sick trades it back, finds a bit of success, but that's all he finds, because that A site has crumbled. HellRaisers with a bomb plant, 3 players after the fact.
Difficult to say where the round falls apart in terms of how it's the fault of Misfits, because I believe it was Amnek who peeked behind his Molotov. Well, his teammate just died in lane, and he had the opportunity to, in that situation, make it look like he was falling back and maybe go for a favorable engagement in a situation where they're down a man. So you can see why he wanted to trade, and unfortunately lost the duel because DeadFox was ready and waiting. But I think on another day, probably would have gotten away with 1 or 2 kills even. So I wouldn't blame him for trying to take that peek.
There's another kill for the very least. Everybody else for HellRaisers is going to weather this storm.
And it's looking up. It's been close rounds, but it's looking pretty good for Misfits, because at the end of the day, they're putting rounds on the board, and HellRaisers have gotten the second one, but with that recovered gun, most people dead, and the ability to buy again, Misfits are fully in this.
This is going to be a crucial round for either team. Even now, of course, with 3 rounds consecutive to the favor of Misfits, their cash is not that great. We've got 5.8 on Sick, but that's it. Shazam wants to slam down any kind of offense, but it's Molotovs and aggression towards Banana. We haven't seen that kind of an early utility expenditure, and it's not going to convince Angel back whatsoever. He's still posted up, and that's a great team flash, allowing for Angel to peek wide, grab 1 frag, and DeadFox takes the next. 5v3 to the favor of HellRaisers already. We see that defense starting to just scuffle their way towards the B site, trying to get ahead of any kind of a push. But HellRaisers, again, while they take Banana, are not committing towards the B site whatsoever. I don't even know if they've done that yet, outside of maybe 1 or 2 rounds.
At the very worst, they could have expected a 3rd person to be in the site, maybe an op, which would have blown the entire round for them. If they did have the bomb and they had 2 players there to go and fight, and this is a really weird play because Angel did get those 2 kills, but now decides to go by himself to try and scout out the site. And Misfits, all that tells them is that it's not going to be B, and the rotates are going to come out really early. Devo Duvek, big job on his hands.
Oh, Shazam's going to take the attention, though. So now they almost look away, but Bondic clears his corners. Excellently done. As the bomb's now been planted, Amanek and Shaz coming in from the same position for the most part, smoked off yet once more. But they've got no clue where the rest of HellRaisers remain. At least they're able to kill Angel early on, so maybe not worried of that far B flank. Instead, they erect the totem pole. Shazam goes just charging through the smoke grenade. Bondic tries to convince him back, and that's exactly what happens. Misfits to save and fight another day with the double guns they still hang on to.
Yeah, solid round from HellRaisers. I think the only thing that could have went wrong for them was giving up that frag from Angel. 5v3 is 100%. You can't lose that round. Group up and hit a site. Instead, they tried to use him as a way to bait a heavy rotation. So one of the advantages you have in the 5v3 is that you can easily convince a team to just rock it and like play 3 on a site, because the beauty of CS is that on CT side, you do have these awesome advantages, being able to wait around corners or just pick angles that won't be able to be pre-fired. But the other thing is that on in man disadvantage situations, if you do play 3 on a site, that's more than enough players to hold versus 5. So with that thought, Angel tried to make a play in accordance. Unfortunately for him, Misfits were ready with an aggressive setup at B, and that gave him a lot of info and a chance to win the round.
Ooh, Shazam just slammed out of the open. Angel gets flashed in. I mean, HellRaisers have been throwing this at the beginning of every single round.
Yeah.
Doing it very well at that.
More than that, it's a common thing to do. I think he was trying to call their bluff and assume that they weren't actually going to send someone to peek it. I think what they expected was that Shazam was going to be holding the corner and that when the flash came off, he was going to shoot right away. And so peeking right away would have been a bad idea. Instead, they would just listen for him to shoot and fall off. But they went ahead and played triple mind games, interdimensional chess. Decided to peek off the flash.
We've seen some slight variations on this short control from Misfits. So the Molotov burns Amanek out. He will still try and fight. And it costs him. Zero takes the headshot. Angel continuing to just try to crack open this B bomb site. There's 2 players to the backside. Angel on the barbecue. He's gonna fire off versus Sick. Catch the kill. Sean Gare is able to trade it. So at least something to play with for Misfits. Devadovic yet again committed towards pit side. Now last time Bondic snubbed him out. This time Dead Fox does it. 4-1 as the bomb goes down.
Yeah, HellRaisers are being really annoying here with their juggling. They're getting kills and moving to the other side almost every single time, which keeps the CTs on their feet. But they're also doing it in a situation where CTs almost have no choices at that point. And I think they do it because they want to catch the other player in a really difficult spot, whereas whoever's at the first site they hit is going to be super prepared and expecting a site hit. The other one might be rotating, but again, that's going to cause problems for you as a CT when you don't know when you should rotate and when you shouldn't. 4-4 now. Misfits are going to be buying up some pistols, not spending too much money, but back to the drawing board.
This is the first time we really see Angel kind of, further commit himself to that B bomb site, really selling the fake, not just taking banana and then leaving, but very much getting himself into it, or at least very close. Cautious of some B site aggression. Dead Fox will post up, but it's actually in the apps that we see Misfits push themselves forward. Of course, it is just the pistols, so they want these close range fights. Devadovic might be walking into the lying weight of Zero.
And we can see that the spot that Zero gets to is hard to do out of spawn, and so therefore it's usually less cleared. Devaduvic's not actually going to push out. Probably to his benefit. Would have been difficult to come away with a kill in that situation. But we have a stack towards B, 4th man coming in, and Amanek in a position where he can hear a lot. So he'll know if they're setting up for smoke executes at A and can initiate a rotate, a heavy rotate if they need it. That's really the only advantage of having him here, is him being able to play off sound, because as soon as he sees someone, he's down.
Oh,
and the Zeus.
Power of the gods in hand. But all the terrorists are gone. So would have had a chance had we seen HellRaisers continue forward. I was going to say, it's very, very risky to push your players with weapons up close into apps like that, but Amanek instead, he's going to start to chase. Now they have left an anchor on mid, that's Zero. He spots the head, gets the kill, makes it look easy, as it should be.
I wonder if they go back.
I mean, they've got 20 seconds, so they'd have to fall back now.
Oh, thought about it.
They're just going to commit here. So Angel, he's going to be trying to create a lot of space at this point. CT is boxed in, starting to be dealt with. That's 3 quick frags. Sean, all that's left, and not for long. Now that could have gotten scary.
100%. I mean, if they had bought armor,
yeah,
that probably would have been the end of it. That was a great setup. They were able to bait him into it. It completely gave it away that they had a player who had pushed, Amanek had pushed all the way through underpass into A or into B and left them with 20 seconds left. I think that was the only thing. If they had any more time, they would have 100% rocked it back, but forced into a tricky situation, still came out the victors. That's HellRaisers. Didn't even lose, only lost 1 player, I think. Very fortunate for their economy.
Where do you like to see the AWP play on the CT side of Inferno?
There's definitely a lot of options. I think we saw Yugi play it particularly well. Obviously, jumping through the smoke in mid is not something you see every day. It takes a really brave man to do it. I think Shazam would be the type of opper to go for those picks, and you could really send anybody else out to do it. Like, here's the timing. You can come out and get this free shot off, but you have to be extremely confident in your ability to shoot in the midst of all that chaos. And wow, Zero gets tagged heavily.
The fact that he's juggling between grenades and guns and still gets the timing on that blind headshot.
Yeah. Counter-Strike.
Hell of a drug.
Indeed.
Angel yet again just going to be playing that B site anchor. So not trying to further himself just as of yet, but catching a rotation if that's the case, because the bomb is still staying by him. Dead Fox posted up.
just knife out so he doesn't give his model away. Not typically cleared, so understandable why he did that.
Nice
Only falls a little short.
Here comes Zero. He's going to flash his way out. Now 12 health means he is expendable. And Shazam, he's going to take him. Sick. After having blown down the smoke, he's going to find nothing. Dead Fox on the entry as Sean finds at least something to hold them back, but that's not enough to stop the bomb from going down. HellRaisers to the afterplant, and Bondic seeking a bit of an angle above the smoke. Could catch one off, and he does with damage dealt, but no frag found. A flash through it, trying to skewer Misfits and keep them back for now, but they're just going to all start to collect themselves and congregate through church. Bondic's still inside of pit. They've got the insurance policy of Stiko. The CTs need to pick up the pace, and as they do, they fall. 2 players down. Shazam convinced to fall back, but he's been boxed in and then dealt with swiftly. Bondic with a final frag, and HellRaisers with another convincing round.
It's definitely the fault of Sean Gears and Sick to not put in more put in more frags for their teammates as rotating in. 3v3 retake on B is it's close to impossible. I mean, it happens, but especially when you don't delay long enough for your teammates to even get set up or be in a position to have information on where players will be and not at the same time have a big flank ready on Banana, which takes a lot of time to get to. It ultimately comes down to the fact that Sick couldn't get an extra kill or that initial one, and Sean couldn't put in more work either. Way too much pressure on the 8 players to come and clean up the mess. And after that, it's starting to feel like Misfits are puttering to a halt almost, even with these 4 rounds. And what you should see is HellRaisers taking advantage of B over and over again. If it is the Banana that is easier to hit and has consistently and reliably been easier to hit, the players have been entried on more than one occasion, sometimes with dry peaks.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not just continually bully it until they have to play 3 there, and in that circumstance, get that information and just hit A.
I mean, it's Angel, of course, who currently tops the scoreboard at 11-8, who's really been committing himself to that B-bomb site. And I would say that's why he also leads in deaths, is because he's just been full on in that B site, even while the bomb rotates back towards A, really trying to obscure any attempt at a rotation.
Yeah.
Poor Misfits don't really have much to deal with it. Because he is always going there, you can't just leave that one player. But at the same time, even on the A site, we've seen HellRaisers just rotate back from Banana. So I feel like the T side has really just been successful in taking control. We haven't really seen that deep wall of smokes from the CTs and pushing out on the B side. That's something I'd like to see at this point.
Right.
We've seen the attempted Molotov, but Angel's just been able to skirt his way through it and still apply pressure, still catch that opening frag.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them not allow him that space, because he is playing well right now. Try to curb his success. Try to hold him at bay.
Yeah, absolutely. Counter nades are a big deal. And then one thing HellRaisers are doing well is that they are making it unclear whether or not they're going to come in dry or do a full execute, that can be easily telegraphed, making it difficult to know when you should release the pin on your grenades. And incendiaries cost so damn much. And as effective as they are, they only hold off the site for a few seconds, meaning that if they can be baited out, it'll leave you really open to hit.
Now, considering that HellRaisers had already almost walked into that one B-site stack, they could be wary of it on this round.
I think at this point they've been confident on both A and B. They've been able to get the bomb down, bring those rounds close, whether or not Misfits were able to win. So keeping B in their back pocket is in their best interest. I like to think that on eco rounds, when you do have a strat that you want to use again, you just don't use it again because you know that the other team's saving. You save it and hit the harder site this time.
We've got CTs filtering through middle, filtering themselves into the AWP and Tech 9 of Dead Fox. Meanwhile, Sick grabs an AK, and he's actually going to get aggressive here. Targets line up, and he drops 2. Could, yes, find that 3rd. Sick obliterates the bottom of Banana and puts himself in a clutch opportunity. It would be the ace.
Now, Zero has to figure out where Sick fell off to, and Sick has to figure out how he wants to deal with this bomb. Doesn't want to sit on it. Oh, no.
Don't get
Almost
caught!
Gets caught off guard, the ace!
Big play! Sick with a headshot in the last second, proving his worth and putting a big round on the board for Misfits.
My God, man. That was so nice. And it all started with a CZ, jumping over logs into the spray down. Really good stuff. Is that a headshot? Bonding
No.
dies at the end of it. Last bullet.
Almost gets caught with a Molotov, but the re-peek And the accuracy pays off. Greatly done. This keeps Misfits still within 1 and allows for them to rebuy. That's a freebie of a round. That's going to be the kind of moment, the kind of play that really bolsters your confidence, that reinvigorates your team. Now we see Shazam looking to get aggressive. That's something he hasn't been doing. He's been playing back passively, so you can see that energy.
Absolutely. And you want to hoist him up because he's feeding the whole family. It's gotten you another buy, another hope in the rounds, and a round on the board straight up. Super critical at this moment. This half is not lost just yet. Still the opportunity to get 9.
Amanek looking for information and the opening kill. Peppers off a couple shots and then fades away right away. What do HellRaisers do at this point? They've got, again, that A aggression. Still Angel towards the B bomb site. Slowly but surely, time and time again, they convince them back with utility usage. The smokes, the frags. We see Misfits give up just the smallest bits of map control, and then HellRaisers really exploit that.
Oh, wow, the resmoke at Arch, interesting. They don't want anyone to get really aggressive, which is surprising, I feel like, because now they're set up to wait for anyone to peek, but have decided to expel a smoke. No rotates are going to come out. Lack of information, and Sean Garrett actually dies. I don't even know how.
Devaduvic and Amanek both boosted in sight here. One spotted, one dealt with, and there goes number 2. Bondic and Zero successfully taking the A site, successfully planting the bomb, and leaving themselves in a fantastic spot. Sure enough, 2 players still up for Misfits. They can try and save if they're allowed to. Meanwhile, this is really HellRaisers putting them back in line.
The critical component and the difficult part about the A hits is forcing CTs to fall back into positions where they have to always watch their back. And once you have them in the site, you have this concave and you have a wrap, you put CTs in a position where they know their angles, but they're also not confident that a player is going to come into that angle, and they might come behind them, and they'll have to constantly reposition themselves. You take them out of spots like Library, you take them out of spots like under Balk or the pit setup that's very strong, then having them inside is just, it's only gonna work so well sometimes. Like we saw Amanek work with the UMP in a position where, you know, he had to deal with lane and arch at the same time, and was fortunate to not get headshotted. But the key to winning a round is to pick something that's going to work 80% of the time. And even though Amanek did win most of his duels in that situation, most of the time he wouldn't get away with that. Nice opening kill from Shazam.
Yeah, nice to see that one AWP trying to find impact. He knows that he needs to get something done. So taking the 5v4 straight out the gates is a perfect spot for Misfits. Now as HellRaisers, how do you respond to that?
The tricky part is that it's obvious that you want to do something aggressive as a terrorist, because you want to do that whether it's 4v5 or 5v5. And whoa, what is going on? Oh, Zick actually running down for that extra kill because they don't have much to work with. Unfortunately dies for his efforts, but they're still up a man.
Yeah, just continues to dwindle down the numbers of HellRaisers, who now have all grouped up towards A, and we've seen them leave their flank open time and time again. This time that could be punished. It's Sean Garrett with a retrieved AK nipping at their heels. Shazam's shot is a miss, but he is still in position to re-aggress. He wants to hold this corner. T-side come in, and that's near 2 for 1. A lot of damage dealt as Devaduvic cleans up the kill and leaves Zero all alone. A quarter HP and a wallbang from Shazam. That's 2 rounds now. Not just the big play from Sick, but Shazam with a single op as well, able to succeed. So Misfits, they're keeping themselves in this.
Yeah, big play from Shazam. I wonder what they were thinking when they decided to continue with A, even though Shazam got the opening pick at A. He made noise at A when he missed on someone going into Boiler, and then decided to continually push him. Were they wondering if everybody had guns? Because I think if that were the thought, maybe they thought maybe Sick only has a CZ. Well, if we go to the other side, it's just as difficult. Obviously, if you see what we see, you knew that B was much weaker. But definitely made their bed with that play. Amanek, wow, nice shot, but ends up getting sprayed down in response. And HellRaisers will take that all day.
We're going to see a re-aggression. Sick swaps to the op. Oh, but he's going to get damaged for it. Will decide to re-peek, and it pays off despite a damaging frag. He sits on 1/10 his health. But at least he's still alive as Stico falls back, grabs himself the bomb, and will rejoin his forces outside of A. But we've got Misfits with the 2-man setup on Arch. and the single anchor of Devaduvic in pit.
I love this angle that Sean's using. It's really deep when you're coming out of lane to clear, because there is that that second building, the red one, that depresses further than his corner, and so you're almost always offered up someone's back as they're going lane. And obviously, the opt to support as well as take attention away from him. But in this situation, an Art Smoke goes down, the rotate comes out. But there's still a lot of reasons why you want to watch this. People have been jumping through the smoke, left, right, and center.
Yeah, another reapplication of a smoke grenade is now all of a sudden HellRaisers start chucking out utility, and Shazam's still going to find that frag, but it's the man to drop from Bauk, then dealt with. Shazam takes 3. Big hold on that A bomb site. Yet again, it's Shazam who really steps himself up. And yet again, it's Misfits with a round on the board, so they're able to close the distance. We're at 7 apiece here with 1 round left in this opening half.
Yeah, definitely looking extremely nice. I mean, you have to wonder, they gave him the shot once again, but he's doing a good job of maneuvering the site cover and opening himself up in different ways every single time. He never even took damage with one of those engagements, so he's been a force to be reckoned with over at A. This time, no opening kill come out, as the flash will allow mid to be taken. Spam happens a bit early for Devaduvic. We're in a position once again where it seems like they want to pressure A. And I'm not sure why. B was working out so well for them.
Yeah, it's been short here in the hands of Misfits. If it's not Shazam, it's Amanek. This time around, he takes 2, and Angel swaps it back. Amanek with another, so individual prowess yet again shining through as they hang on to the man advantage. But Sick now arrives here, trying to bolster up this defense as we hit the minute mark. Bomb has been retrieved, but dropped yet again. Amanek wants his ace, and Angel's all that's left. He's gonna swap back to the rifle, but it's not enough. That is another ace here for Misfits.
My God, 2 aces in 1 half. They gotta be feeling really good about that. Obviously, it's only an 8-7 half, but that's still nice.
Considering where it was, right? Sure enough, okay, we see that little, flub pistol conversion. Then they're able to bounce it back in the 3rd round to their favor. They start to turn that into the conversion of gun rounds, and then we get that chunk of victory from HellRaisers. Those 5 consecutive rounds between the 6th and the 10th. But then it turns back on its head. Misfits get that hard reset in the 12th round, and they really kind of, utilize that in order to walk away with that slight lead, very slight lead. But even coming into this game, we talked about how Inferno is not lopsided.
Yeah, it's not lopsided. It's not over yet. And my only question for HellRaisers is why didn't they continually go with what worked or try to work back to B when that was such a viable strategy? And I don't think that Misfits had proven that they had overcome it. Typically you want to change it up as soon as you found out that the adjustments have been made. B is now has fortified itself. They've either figured out how to hold or got an extra player there to deal with it, but instead decided to go through a 3-man setup at A with Shazam finessing the op, no problem, every single round. Pistol round in the 2nd half of the 2nd map.
With elimination on the line. Of course, HellRaisers leading by that 1 opening map. This was HellRaisers' pick, so we'll see if they've got any tricks up their sleeves, but it's Misfits who get themselves up short. Dead Fox to the pit side, 0 inside sight. He reveals himself, takes the frag, and it's just a whole collection in the hands of HellRaisers. But amongst the chaos, Amanek finds a knife and a headshot frag as well. Still, Seiko remains to the side of pit. So much damage, dwindling down the health of Misfits as Angel tries to pry into the bomb site. Shazam will take him. Trade is found. That's Seiko on the board, and only Amanek left. He's trying to find an angle, desperately so, but only 3 HP
1 bullet.
and a single shot from Seiko. All he's got, but he swaps back to another gun, and now he sits on 3, 2, 1, yet once more. But the reload comes in, and things slow down. Amanek still pinned in cover. Seiko wants the duel, continuously peeking back and forth. Just a smidgen of damage dealt. It's like a game of dodgeball towards this site.
Doesn't seem like they'll be dodging wrenches anytime soon.
He's able to get himself off of it though. Maybe a little bit more wiggle room to play with. Add some verticality.
No
and
way.
Amanek with a 3K in the round, including a knife and the clutch on 3. points of health.
How on earth is that possible? Continuing the madness too, aced in the last round of the first half, and then after all that, I mean, played around the site cover. He just needed one bullet to close it out. Oh, even a knife on this round. Wow. I don't even know how this is possible. Ends up with a headshot as well.
I think at that point, he's just waiting for the repeak. I mean, how many times do we see Stiko just try to find that angle?
Yeah.
Once Amanek realizes he has the real estate, that he can post up on it, he does so, patiently waits, hits the headshot. Now we've got HellRaisers with a buy, trying to utilize that scout and upgraded pistol combo with a couple tidbits of utility.
See how they apply it. Ooh, Shazam getting tagged. This is the value of a scout, leaving everybody that you look at within one shot of a pistol.
We see the Molotovs start to rain in. CT's committed to their positions. Devidovic tries to clear one out, but it's going to be Sean with an opening to the T side. Sick, doubling in. Still equal at this point, but Dead Fox gets ripped out of the graveyard, and Amanek yet again puts his team in a prime position with a last headshot as well. My goodness, that is now 11 frags in the course of 3 rounds.
Yeah, that is actually crazy. I mean, he's starting to catch fire for sure. That round moved faster than an Overwatch team fight, I want to say, with people popping up all over the place. Nice break control to kill Zero in the smoke. And the last, nice kill with that headshot. Good crosshair placement. HellRaisers are now without any utility, upgraded pistols. Angel the only man to invest in anything.
Again, one of these moments of just sheer desperation. Although, Angel is up close. Not that it matters. Sean Gare is going to snub him out.
You definitely want to see that the pistols are congregating together on a round like this and trying to trade out each other instead of playing like a standard setup like we've seen. 2 players dying on Banana, no opportunity to kill for each other, and allowing Misfits to have free reign over the map.
The backside of sight is Dead Fox. He somehow finds the headshot. That's Sean Gare's down, but Devidovic splatters him. Shazam has to be cautious. Only 12 bullets left in the mag. Reload shines through, as does the bomb plant. So while Dead Fox finds something of success, it's going to be this last attempt on a boost. There we go. Bondic finds another. So considering their guns, hell, this is a fantastic round for HellRaisers.
Yeah, certainly more than they expected, I would assume. HellRaisers still, though, have to make up for that really big flub on the pistol round. I mean, it was kind of a crazy battle that lasted way too long, but there were severe repercussions, allowing Misfits to get into the double-digit range, leaving HellRaisers to have to think about that, as well as come back from a 4-round deficit. And now let's see what the first strategy is here on our rifle round, finally. Standard setup. Carpeting the Molotovs on B. Molotovs in response. No one to actually push up. A flash, though, to assist with Angel, who gets off. Sean also getting a kill on Zero. I don't know if this means that they realize the site's going to be open. Stiko shuts down the lurk.
The hesitation here for Misfits has afforded HellRaisers the rotation. Dead Fox is going to get himself to position. Of course, at that same time, it weakens the A-site hold.
Seems like the CT is still figuring out what they want to do, and wow, that is a miscommunication. Huge flub there, throwing 2 smokes, but it has pushed 3 Ts all the way back to B. Interestingly enough, they've decided to gamble, and gamble hard. Will it pay off? Good Molotov to delay.
Here they come, though. Terrorists filtering in. Dead Fox has to be cautious of above, but now the bomb's been dropped, and we're into the 2v2. Shazam trying to make it equal. Now the man advantage. Bondic lines one up. He will spray him down. And so the clutch yet again on the board. 30 seconds left. He knows exactly where he is, and he gets aggressive. Wow. Bondic with, again, an impactful play here to the favor of HellRaisers.
Very critical hop up into the top of Coffins to shut that down. And Going for the plan of that situation, I think he felt like that was my last opportunity. That Molotov going down was the only way I was going to be able to get a safe one in. And I don't know how to feel about this round.
Do you think that was a purposeful mistake with the smoke grenades? To give away the information that there's 2 players A and then to just run to B as fast as possible?
I don't think so.
That'd be next level.
That would be next level, though, because...
Yeah, reveal your numbers.
Yeah, you reveal your numbers.
Rotate.
Yeah. I feel like the call was just stack B, and then they decided to smoke it, but you never know who's around here, but yeah, that would have been a next level call. I'd like to know if that was the case.
Of course, unfortunately for Misfits, that bomb has been dropped, and they're immediately to this 2-man disadvantage. This puts HellRaisers in a fantastic position now, and of course, that hard reset could have been on the table. So they are very grateful for this opportunity.
You've got me really thinking about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have I bamboozled you?
Been bamboozled. 4-3. HellRaisers now can just, they're sitting pretty. They can just sit in sights. Angel's not got a lot of health, but he's also probably going to get the first bullet out. Dead Fox looks for the headshot angle over second oranges. On anybody creeping up bomb wall, or not bomb wall, just the wall.
Angel's not going to be flashed off this angle, though. There's 0 utility, so as opposed to the flash, they throw the bait. Oh, great play from Angel, but it's still not enough. Shazam gets the best of him as Dead Fox finds 2. Yet again, the Opper, all that remains, and it's Bondic with the last frag once more. What a nice shot from Angel. That's just pure game knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Super sick. I mean, I think that wall bang, it's like people don't practice lining it up, but if you know the angle well enough, you can trust yourself that you've just hit a shot that was really nearby to it, and you figure you can get away with it, and he was correct. Shazam was hoping for the repeat, and instead was greeted by a bullet and no model. Setting up in a default once again. They're not dealing with mid this time. It's HellRaisers to push down Banana and do it quite aggressively. It's versus an eco. I'm not sure if he was spotted, actually. It looks like Sean was taking his time and shoulder peeking it. But yeah, didn't alert his teammates here. Angel was able to sneak up, and that has really set everybody off, funneling all the kills into the SMGs.
At least Amanek finding 1 frag. Meanwhile, they've been shut down not just on the flank, but on the attempted entry. You saw those first couple kills kind of pulled the trigger on the peaks. HellRaisers pulled the triggers in response.
Sean was just very unfortunate to not be able to call that just because he was peeking every once in a while. Holding an angle can be a death sentence, and so going on patrol is sometimes the best option, but obviously if a player walks by in the second that you aren't peeking, whole team's just going to be straight up mad at you.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Certainly damned by the HellRaisers in this round as they hold on to that, again, 2-man advantage and both bomb sites. That bomb's just going to try to desperately come in here. That's a hell of a dink. Stiko, he's going to get low, but the bomb has yet again fallen to the wayside. 4 HP for Sean. Desperation sets in. 15 seconds left, and hey, there's a parting gift. Able to grab the headshot to Bondic until 0 clears things up. So we've got the man advantage, or rather round advantage, sorry, to the favor of Misfits, but their lead, well, it's starting to dwindle. Yeah, it's starting to dwindle, and obviously Misfits have won a pistol in the second half, so as far as we can tell, HellRaisers are on par with Misfits, and in this round have a little bit more bank along with the full buy to match them. See about something simple. The second rifle round of the half. A lot more data to gather here. Flash for top Banana to just shy anyone away from it, but they'll stay steadfast. And will they reaggress too? We saw Angel go down B quite often late in the round. Well, what a shot from Dead Fox. Again, that op just ever so present. 30 to 40 degrees in that flick. So close is his health, though. Drops to 19, and up close, the shot goes wide. Shazam spams for the headshot. And the A site is in question, but Stiko's still in pit. He's trying to buy time for the rotation, which is inbound. 2 players to the CTs, but he is down. And they continue to come on in. Definitely some decent damage dealt. Unfortunately, wasn't able to
just finalize those kills. 2 players rotating in. Smokes are out. They're going to be able to delay quite a bit.
Davidovic to the top of the boxes. Single bit of utility for both teams. Smoke on the CTs. Flash to the terrorists. And there goes the cover. Temporarily so they come pushing in. That's where Zero grabs the headshot, and suddenly things are in question until Amanek, with another 3K and another big play, is able to secure the round for Misfits. So the score goes to 12-10. Both teams still in double digits, but the cash of HellRaisers now in question, and that's crucial to the CT side of Inferno. They're going to have very little utility, barring what they have bought up into. We see, of course, that CZ for Bondic and the glass cannon on Dead Fox. You can see the struggle.
Yeah, certainly if HellRaisers loses this game, it's going to be this round that they remember most dearly. And Dead Fox pushing up aggressively, and it's an awkward spot. 3 players go down at B. The hold made sense. They had the perfect read on Misfits, but they got destroyed at the top of Banana. All 4 players from Misfits, assuming big flanks are going to happen right away. Just want to make sure they seal this up and aren't getting baited into anything, but HellRaisers are actually just way back here at A, and no one's putting the bomb down.
Sean's experiencing technical issues. They need to just team kill him. He needs to be sacrificed to the gods of Inferno.
Oh, I see. That's that's quite frustrating.
A little awkward.
It's
back.
All right, we're back. I thought they were doing something next level once again. I thought they were.
I can only plant specifically at 56 seconds.
No, what I thought they were. I thought they were trying to make sure they got the kills as opposed to put the bomb down.
All right,
so that they could buy for the next round.
Then again, they could always just go for this hunt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, because everybody's still scattered towards that B site, they have no clue if it's, you know, a box in over on the CT spawn, if these players have in fact pushed up to where they have.
Yeah, it's a raunchy crossfire that stares mid area.
That was a raunchy entry into the Banana.
That's very true.
But I mean, you mentioned it earlier, how that position now is so much wider, and we see all those terrorists not grouped up in a single line, but rather side by side.
Yeah.
And that's afforded to them because of the new girth of Banana.
Yeah, you couldn't do that before. I mean, the pillars made it so difficult to just have good spacing at all times. But now with it being so wide and HellRaisers not having the appropriate utility, if they didn't have, they had the right read with the 3 Banana setup, but they didn't have 2 mollies and nades to stop anyone from entering, as we can see. Clean at the feet right now, looking for the spray and also getting that info. Sean able to lock that up, no problem.
Yeah, this of course is just a tactical pause from HellRaisers, so not a technical issue, furthered by Sean Gers. But a good opportunity for HellRaisers to discuss things over. And I mean, this is a good time to do it. They're going to have average of $2,000. Nothing really invested much into this one other than what was moved forward. Would you go for a buy out of desperation, or do you think that allowing Misfits to secure 14 rounds is the better call?
The only time that, you know, some people don't want to play for OT, and the best teams in the world always play for OT. In this situation, they should have a plan to save up and buy next round. They're going to have 3-round loss, so they'll be fine. I think they might be talking about how little they should buy in this situation. Sticko obviously recycling that M4. Oh, maybe that's what you're thinking would factor in their decision to snap buy.
The Catalyst M4.
Yeah, I cherish the opportunity to let it go to 14. When you're at 14, like that's when you might really think about it. But I'm not entirely sure if we're still live, but
we have lost power.
We have lost
at the casting desk. Somebody help us.
It's getting very dark.
I'm scared, Launders. Hold me.
If you've ever wanted to make out, this is the time. Oh, okay, we're back. What's the difference between an asteroid and a meatball?
What?
One is meteor.
Oh, Launders.
So we're we're assuming the same game's still going on. We're a little bit in the dark at the moment.
Quite literally.
It's, yeah, quite literally in the dark, yes. Okay, we'll let Twitch chat cast then.
Yeah, go for it, guys. You're going to have to do the radio cast for us.
Don't sound like a 3K.
It sounded more like 2.
2? I think you whiffed that last one. Where's the studio? Oh, we have the one.
We're back.
Okay, we back.
We are ready to go.
Okay.
13-10, there was no 3K. There was nothing here, Launders.
Oh, okay.
It was all a ruse, an illusion, as Zero cowers to the corner, able to grab the headshot. Sean's gone down after finding that entry. At least something for Misfits. But what they don't have is a bomb. It's been dropped in the lying weights of HellRaisers as they smidgen out that one frag and take it to the 3v3. But desperation again sets in because the CTs have all they want. An ability to deny the plant, an ability to deny the round, and to deny that 14th on the board. So Shazam wants to reaggress back into this site. Zero to the heavens, quite dealt with, but there's the wide peak, Bondic with a frag, and only the CZ, as Shazam has 20 seconds to plant. The Molotov could block him off unless he decides to go just powering through it.
Oh, is he going to peek into this? He does have to worry about the fact that an opposite play, will we have the nastiest shoulder beak of all time, or will we have Shazam? 1 bullet, 1 kill.
21 points of health. It's all Shazam will have. So Bondic creeps in, and now he's been revealed up close. Shazam wants to just use this op. It's going to be the M4 in the hands of the CTs. No, the reload. He's going to get it in. Not swapping to the pistol. Still buying time.
Oh
and
my God.
Round. Shazam, yet again, with a crucial moment, comes up big.
How on earth are they able to dodge these bullets? Each time it's been 1. That pistol round, this clutch.
How does he reload?
I don't even know how you get away with a reload in this situation.
No stress.
I think this is, yeah, I think they must just be stressed out because that's kind of nuts.
Here we go. So the 14th round has been found, but still, great job from HellRaisers to control that bomb early on. You could argue it was a bit of a mistake from Misfits to even offer that on a silver platter. HellRaisers gobble up the opportunity. Put themselves on a decent enough purchase here in the 25th.
Not quite sure about money, but with Misfits losing all but 1, I mean, they have Rebot with full utility, moving into what could be match point. I think the main issue at this point for Misfits will be if they do lose this and the next, do HellRaisers just get a free tie? And so how pressured do they feel winning this round? Knowing that, yeah, they have a 4-round lead, but that could be diminished really quickly.
Change in tempo here from HellRaisers. We haven't seen any early aggressions, not wanting to offer anything up. It's going to be Angel to take up the same position as Misfits take up A. Just forcing their players up short side, and they're finding no contact at this point. Deadfox peeks in the rear end of the caboose, damaging 2, and then trying to just filter his way back. Now Bondic reveals himself as Stico takes 1 kill. That's the bomb yet again on the ground as Bondic continues with frags aplenty. It's only Amanek left standing. 25 seconds, desperately spraying, but desperately doing so. 20 seconds as the bomb goes down. He's afforded himself this much. Can he take it the distance? Can he take it over the line? There's 2 heads to pop. And no, it's going to be Angel with a frag for the 5-7. HellRaisers on 11. And Misfits have to give it up.
Yeah, I know what you were thinking. A round that you can't lose, but we've seen it before. And it was very tense in that moment. But even with those 2 kills, Amanek has done so much for his team. HellRaisers don't exactly have bank. Very fortunate to have won that round. Are going to be thinking heavily about the fact that they lost the last. But now we move into this one. Solid buy from both. But again, Misfits down in economy, what we just talked about. If they lose this round, close to a free tie here for HellRaisers. That was a solid sight hold on A. Even forfeiting all of that forward control on lane.
Great decision by Dead Fox to reposition himself. Peppers them with damage.
Yeah.
Rotates back to support. Leaves his team to do the most part.
Yeah, it can be so tempting, right? You're like shooting all these players in the back. Just try to commit to close one out, but he's so much better alive at another part of the site. In just a different moment in the round. Good decision making. Obviously showing us that they're in a healthy mindset. And we're going to the double pit. One of the strongest setups. I mean, Bondic's up here on apps, but he can fall at any moment. Just take care of anybody who wants to try to waterfall out initially.
Dead Fox again, not shy to fall back towards safety. Keeping himself standing is key.
So this is the value of clearing out top mid. Once you know that they aren't there, then if you rotate back to B and hit the site, yeah, you might have to play 2 people, but the people in A will not be able to know that they need to rotate. And here we have 4 people ready for an A hit.
Yeah.
This strategy looks like it's going to work out perfectly.
Unless Zero comes up massive, but he's caught with a grenade. Still standing though, not for long. Devaduvic finds the frag. Angel attempts the spray. Very nicely done here by Misfits to sell that A fake. To get HellRaisers out of position. And even now, Bondic, he's just committed towards A. Only rotating at this point, trying to keep an eye on flank. Now Shazam goes down to the back of sight, and Angel's ever close. They're gonna start to vamp up this retake. They might actually go for this. It's gonna be another frag thanks to Angel, still the player to the backside of sight. The one coming in from Banana's been dealt with. Can they get the one up close? Sean chimes in, Bondic does the same, and 6 been dealt with. Big clutch from HellRaisers. If there's time, there is. The kit's arrived. If Bondic had taken a moment longer on that rotation, which was already pretty slow, that could have gone the way of Misfits. But HellRaisers coming in when it absolutely matters most. They deny overtime secured, and they keep this comeback coming.
The true tragedy of that round was it was just so beautifully called. The way that they cleared out top mid, left one person there, it was textbook CS, and it followed with one of the evergreen tenets of Inferno and controlling rotations. It's clear out top B, clear out top mid, and then anything you do to sell a fake will almost always result in a 4-1. And that allowed them to go and hit A, fall back from hitting A into what should have been a wide open site. Zero even went down without getting a kill. That is truly, truly unfortunate. Misfits now on a save, don't have match points. But they do have a strategy that works. They know that they can go back to that.
We'll see if Stiko gets overwhelmed. Looking to dodge the flashbang. If only he knew. A man by his side.
Oh, they're gonna hear this.
He's afforded himself an escape. Falls back.
Oh, wow.
Stiko, crucial kill. Onto Devaduvic as the players filter in. They trickle down upon him, and it doesn't stop him whatsoever. Sure enough, Sean finds one, but that's all they get.
Oh my God, Stiko's so good in that pit position. He's able to get those first few bullets off, completely blind, kill Sean coming out, and then I love how he doesn't peek into halls again, knowing that the rest of the players are going to waterfall out. Instead, we see him just peek out for the player who's going to jump on the ground, hold for a second, and then not go too wide, exposing himself to more than one man. Very smart stuff.
Here's a change-up, double op setup to the CT side. First, we've seen it for HellRaisers. It's Angel to get aggressive. Great flash, great frag. And he almost finds the wall bang. Not wanting to fall back just as of yet, looking to assert himself. And these shots ever so close. This time it connects. Devaduvic's been convinced to fall further back, but now HellRaisers gonna get dropped in health. Angel sits to 13, but they still sit with the man advantage.
Indeed, sitting pretty. Dead Fox also on the other side of the map. Hasn't made it exactly known that he does have this op. Kind of tough to hear sometimes, depending on the column. Shazam comes out with a dry peek, and unfortunately for him, is not rewarded. Not fast enough, not faster than Dead Fox in that situation. Tough battle to win. That allows him to fall back, and they have such a stalwart A defense. I find it difficult to believe that this round is going to get any better for Misfits.
Dodges the flashbang and again falls back. Dead Fox doing a very good job of just keeping himself alive. Sure enough, forfeit over that CT wrap. Allow for the B site to become in question. But as long as you stay up, you're fine. And that's Bondic just sealing the deal.
Yeah, that prime headshot angle and pit. It's too hard to turn down. Great place to fall back to. And just like that, The only thing that Sick can look for now in this 1v5 with 20 seconds remaining and no bomb is some kills. But he can't even do that. Misfits are now maybe on a save once again, going into match point after that buy. It's tough, that buy save situation. Yes, definitely extremely low, and wow, suddenly. From so many golden opportunities, Misfits unable to secure that match point. Wow. HellRaisers fully well aware that Misfits don't have enough money to buy. Just willing to throw away that op just like that. Now, the worst thing that DeadFox can do is be any more aggressive than that in a round like this. Forfeiting an op to a player like Shazam might be a death sentence.
Single gun can make a world of difference. They've been unable to retrieve one just as of yet.
This will be the perfect setup depending on whether or not he gets spotted. Bondic doing so much damage.
Spray. Bondic, he's able to take 2 there. DeadFox again just continuously reeling backwards. Shazam, sure enough, is able to find a kill. But it's Amanek who is yet to find anything, and he won't find teammates no matter where he goes. Instead, it's Zero to seal that round out, and that's HellRaisers on 15. 1 point away from sending the Misfits packing. What can they do in desperation?
It's really tough. Again, they have had success controlling top mid, controlling top banana. In fact, most of the time they were able to not only control top banana, but get kills on players like Angel who were trying to get aggressive. Ready to dodge a flash and take him out for free. I would like to see them do it again. That exact same round they lost in the retake on B, if they could find a way to, in their defaults, which they have practiced so much, make their presence known at top mid without getting offed. Force DeadFox back into the site, rocket back. I think that's a free way to seal up a round.
HellRaisers just so good at keeping themselves up in the man advantage. Not offering really up anything other than that moment of an opportunity. Because it's in those little moments that DeadFox looks to find success. And even with times where the shot goes wide and he falls back, well, at least it's the initiative taken.
Well, this is exactly what they've done. Except for having Amanek stay there to really seal in the fake. So now they've kind of just used utility, are relying really heavily on their entries and don't even have that much to execute with. They can clear out top banana, but then they've almost got to come in dry at this moment. Still, the one advantage they have is there will be no fast rotate. Closest man is Library. That is a trek and a half.
Angel gonna get slightly flashed, but now he spots the targets. He just needs to desperately get back. Sean takes him down, so Zero's now in question, but with his flames, burns Sean to a crisp.
Oh, that Molotov doing good work for them.
Oh, and the shots connect even further. Zero with another 2. That's 3 frags alone at this point to put HellRaisers with a man up over the Misfits. 15 seconds on the clock. They're starting to filter in, and it's going to have to be the clutch from Devaduvic, but it's not going to happen. HellRaisers moving in with the 2-0 win in this series. Misfits coming up empty-handed. It looked like they had it. It looked like we were going to have to move on to Nuke, and the decider would be needed. But the only decision here is that HellRaisers move on.
Formidable, stalwart, resilient, all words to describe how well HellRaisers did in that match, especially in that comeback after being down 14-11. Seeming like Misfits had them dead to rights. That is really tough. Still sitting in their seats, but have to get up to shake hands, of course. Show good sportsmanship. Tough loss and a great win for HellRaisers to bring in that 2-0 just like they did. Yeah, very tough loss, especially if you consider their result last weekend in Valencia. You know, they're in that decider match versus Envious. They're able to take it to a 3rd map, goes into overtime. It was, again, a very back and forth battle. And while this one map did seem that way, this is a much more convincing just series in general from HellRaisers, which is nice to see, right? They were coming into this event with a bit of a question mark. We weren't sure of their form, and now they've been able to put themselves into the semis tomorrow. Yeah, looking really, really, really good. What more is there to say? They kind of like completely cleared all my doubts. You know, the recovery was a huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they were able to do so badly in the first section of the second half, but then recover and figure out a way to just change up their defense.
Yep, they figured it out. We're going to figure out what they have to say, as it will be Smix on stage with an interview from our winners.
I'm here with Stiko. Congratulations, Stiko. You've secured a top 4, and this is your 4th top 4 this year, 2nd at a DreamHack, and especially after such a close loss against Renegades yesterday, must feel so good to have a solid performance today and move forward to the semifinal.
Yeah, it definitely feels really great to play that good on DreamHack events. Some of them are not that good for us, but especially here in America. But this time we finally broke the course in Atlanta, and we are going to semifinals.
I want to talk about Inferno because I noticed that it's not a map you guys usually play. In fact, before the Malma qualifier, you didn't play it for almost 3 months. So is that something you've been practicing and really working on, trying to bring back into your map pool?
Yeah, we are trying to work on the map. Obviously, we didn't expect to play it against Misfits because they didn't play it a whole lot as well. But it was a pretty good matchup. I feel like we had pretty good reads and we played our game. So eventually it all came down to clutches, which we won mostly, and that was important.
In the second half in particular, there was a point where your team was down 10-14, and then there was a tactical pause called. What did you guys talk about in that moment? Because you were able to go from that to winning the whole game.
I remember in that pause we kind of tried some mind reading stuff. We expected them that they will think we will force buy with 2 saved guns, but actually we did eco and we almost actually won that round. So it was like pretty huge breaking point for their economy as well as ours, because we managed to establish our economy well. And from that point of time, we just kept rolling. I guess we were winning more duels, we were more confident, and that's what made Inferno our way.
Well, now you are in the top 4, and you're going to be playing against Heroic, who have taken down Godson and MV pretty handedly. So what are your thoughts on them?
Looking forward to play against them. It's always a good matchup, as well as map-wise, as well as skill-wise. So I think it's going to be a good semifinal, hopefully.
Well, congratulations again, Stiko. And with that, it'll be the HellRaisers sending the Misfits packing as they move on to the semifinal.
Yes, indeed. The HellRaisers are our 3rd team into the semifinals. They go on to play Heroic. Let's sum up this match in a little bit more detail. Vendetta, what can you take away from this 2-0?
That it's a very different outcome or 2 very different maps in itself. I think Overpass it's not that much to delve into. That was pretty much a stomping. The only really big question was how big of a stomp was it, where was it meant to be? Because that CT side was just dominant from HellRaisers side. Nothing really that Misfits got going at all, and you could tell that they're, on HellRaisers on their end, we're good about actually divvying up, different kinds of setups, switching between aggression and playing it passive. So just an overall solid game from them on that map. Going into Inferno, I think it was a bit more of a mess.
Well, sort of just sticking on Overwatch for a moment, we spoke about this before. Do you think it was a mistake that they let it through then? We speculated that they may have been...
They hadn't done any homework.
So why do you think that happened? Why did they...
I think during the Vita system, I thought that HR actually picked Overpass, because it's always their pick, but it was actually Misfits that picked Overpass. I didn't realize until we watched it. I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Misfits actually picked their best map. So that took me by surprise, and I don't know, their T side was so flat. With them picking that map, you'd think they'd have a little bit more a little more fight in them.
And that's something you alluded to as well in the pregame, just in general, the fact that the T sides from Misfits so far haven't really been that impressive, and we needed to see something more out of them. They got 2 rounds on Overpass, and even if you go into Inferno, they got 3 weapon rounds because they ended up winning pistol, but that's not a whole lot to take back with you home. So I think you need to restructure, regroup, and actually rethink what you're doing for the better part of your offensive sides, at least if you're a Misfits. Because CT side, like a lot of individual skill can carry you through. We saw that on Inferno as well, the fact that Omnic and Shazam, once they got their ops in their hands, they were starting to do work. But honestly, I feel like that Inferno game should have been way, way shorter. HellRaisers, they climb back from 1 to 4 to make it 6 to 4. Then they somehow magically lose a ZZ push down middle and Banana, for no good reason, because they basically donate 3 people to Sick, and he ends up clutching it with an ace. And again, well done by Sick, but absolutely terrible play from HellRaisers. That messes up their economy, allows for Misfits to kind of get back into the game, and then we have the pistol round, which is like the most awkward 1v1 I've seen in quite some time between Stiko and Omnic.
Yeah, from pit. Yeah,
Stiko actually ran out of bullets on his first USP and had to run across the pit to pick up a new one. And it was just a definite situation. Like, as awkward as that 1v1 was, HellRaisers had a man advantage initially as well, but it's Angel getting too aggressive while Stico's not in a position to actually trade for him. So instead of being in a 2v1 where they could easily just wait out Omnic until he like either has to push out on Angel or Stico, they basically give him a 1v1 duel and just work off of that. So that, again, allows for Misfits to kind of get back into the game. But I definitely think HellRaisers should have closed it way, way earlier. Yeah,
Smix spoke to Stico there a little bit about their sort of mind reading in the tactical pause. How well do you think that actually worked out for them? Because obviously Vendetta is saying that it was a lot closer than it should have been potentially. Do you think that mind reading worked, and how important was that for them?
Yeah, I think they had. HellRaisers was working well with their utility, and I really think Inferno is one of the most important maps for utility. And you could even see it on that last round there that I think Misfits went B, and they ran into 3 Molotovs. But there's only like 30 seconds left in the round. There's still 3 Molotovs in the CT defense. That's crazy. Yeah. That means either Misfits is not putting enough pressure, and their HellRaisers are just sitting in the bomb site like, yeah, you're actually not coming in, so I'm going to keep my Molotov. Like, you're not pressuring me. I'm not scared of you. We're going to keep our stuff to when you actually hit. And I think that was really the key to their last 6 rounds that they strung together.
So we do have to say goodbye to Misfits now. What can they take out of this? We've mentioned their T side could be better. What learnings can they take from their experience here in Atlanta?
I think that really is the big key really for them. Actually work on their T sides, make sure that they can actually get something out of it, because it's not easy to win, CS games if you're only going to do well on your CT side. At that point, you just have to hope that your opponent's going to mess up when they play the opposite. So yeah, just rework your T sides, look at what's going wrong, like specifically what actually is the turning point in every round, because everyone can set up in a default and potentially get a pick, but it's like what you do from that point on. Whenever you do an execute, or you're not covering it enough, well enough, especially if you're doing or falling back towards one specific execute towards the site, oftentimes, whether it's way too easy to read for your opponents and whatnot. And that's very evident once you go through demos and whatnot. So I'm sure Sean will do that and have a bit of a light bulb above his head, kind of just seeing what's wrong. And I know that they'll come back stronger in that sense. But right now, their T sides are fairly poor. Yeah, and any final thoughts, Eric, before we move on to our last best of 3 of the day?
No, I mean, just what Vendetta said there. Their D sides, their CT sides, looked pretty great. And Inferno was a map they've only played, I think, on HLTV. They had 1 map registered on Inferno. So I mean, all their practice, all their play on Inferno was simply just practice, not in a match environment. So I think they had a pretty decent Inferno. And we have been ragging on their T sides, but their T side didn't look that bad on Inferno. But just at the end, when it really mattered, it seemed like they didn't have enough to push through for HellRaisers.
Indeed. Thank you very much for your insight. HellRaisers are our 3rd semi-finalists. Soon, we do have Envious going up against Godsent, but first we are going to go to a break. And while we are in the break, you guys can all go and download the Strafe esports app. It is the home of everything news and data around esports, everything here at DreamHack Atlanta, and also all other events going on in the world, and future, past. You can see all your favorite teams and your favorite players and what they've been getting up to, so check that out. We'll be back very soon with the last best of 3 of the day to find out who our final semi-finalist will be. Stick with us, we'll be back soon.